Anyway, like I was saying, the only thing that I didn't like about the remake of the so anyway, go back Spectre. I actually like the effect more than the original one, where it basically brought the texture over what. That is basically what they've done there. Is that's the model of it without the textures, and they code the game to put the textures over it to show the monkeys and that, which I think that's ingenious. I like that idea. But anyway, this is the last of what the American version is called Medieval Mayhem. The official name of this of the tune for this is called The Castle Crumbles. Even though it's got nothing to do with the castle crumbling at all. Oh, it's got the castle. It's something like called Spectre Castle or that. But anyway, what I'm saddened about the Hypervention Neptunia remake for the PSP Vita, is that they didn't keep the original composed songs for it. So unfortunately, so we hear stuff from Victory, which I don't think mixes well, because this game industry is supposed to be the exact same as the one that you're in Mark II. They're obviously a little different because they retconned the first game in with the second game, obviously as everybody knows, and then Victory carries on from the second game. It was just weird because I'm used to hearing the Planetoon battle theme, which is, in my opinion, and what rings of Planetoon, they were actually quite nice themes to listen to. And so was the Last Station theme. I like all the Last Station themes, even if Victory's one is a little redone version of the original, the one from Mark II. And another thing that I'm actually looking forward to. It's not a game, but it's an anime. It's where the main characters are the Sega consoles, the Sega Mega Drive, Saturn, and the Dreamcast, which makes me think, yes, it means that Arul or Amity will get, because they have to go into like different games, and as everybody knows, Sega now owns the rights to Puyo Puyo, even though it was technically a compile game first, but they own the rights now. Anyway, this is Spectre that originally when I was originally playing it on the PS1 version. And, you can't reach it from this bit, you have to go around. But it basically means that I'm hoping that the Arul or Amity actually make it into it, because the synopsis is basically they go into different Sega games. So obviously you'll have the one that's like Fantasy Zone, Fantasy Star. You may even see what else? Like a Clockwork Night episode. The Sonic's the obvious one. And the not obvious one would be Puyo. To Japan it'd be Puyo Puyo, but to us it wouldn't be, because Puyo Pop Fever is the last and the only two games we got outside of a version of Tsu that was made. And you can actually make it up there in the PS1 version. I used it all the time. But anyway, I could probably see something like a Shemun episode. Is it Saku? It's something Sakurai Tyson. We'll probably see one of them columns, probably one. Then again, that probably booked them with the Puyo one if they were smart. What else would the Sega franchise would be? Oh god. What else would there be? think what else? Okay. It's hard to think. It's hard to think of another Sega franchise. Panzer Dragoon would be another one. Would Gunstar Heroes count? Like Dynamite Head as well? Would that? No, I don't think they would. Yes, we get it. I'm here. Leave me alone. What else was there? Skies of Arcadia. That would be another good one because well, it does span over the Saturn, Mega Drive, and yes, I said Mega Drive, not Genesis, because that was the original name, and well, I actually like the name. It sounds better because it makes you feel like as the American advertising for Super Nintendo was, now you're playing with power, super power. It makes you feel like you're playing with power when you feel the name Mega. Mega Drive was kind of a powerhouse, especially with that sound chip. And some of the 3D well, it's not as impressive as the effects chip in Nintendo, but it was still impressive what they were able to get away with just doing it with sprites and making them look 3D. Yes, I know I'm a Sega fanboy, but then again, I've always known Sega. Always known Sega, so well, I've trusted them a lot more. I mean, unlike other people, I'm not saddened at what they did to the Puyo games. I actually like what they did to some of them. You know, I mean, the Fever games, alright, they have the ins and outs, you know, like the strengths and weaknesses, but they are good games. You know what I mean? Voice acting, more or less the English versions, could have been a little better in some cases. Like Ho How Bird actually saying Ho How and not for some odd reason. When yeah, it's a if we renamed them Bird, I would be fine with it. It would be into character because the joke is that the character says oh ho with all of these chains. You know what I mean? I like Fever too. The shame when you're recording it, the PSP wouldn't go properly, i.e. Basically, for some reason the music started working out on some of them, like they would play different music instead of the actual music they were supposed to. Oh gosh. Oh, I was going to say gotcha in the style of a few cases of Saru. Gotcha. Often not with the voice, the exact same voice, because obviously I can't do that. Who's sitting in the throne? Why, it's none other than a black monkey. I am disappointed it is not spec. That'd be cool, you know, just they could have done that. They could have just they could have done for a joke, just had spec to say hello and then just get off before you get a chance to catch him. That'd be funny, that. Because the Ape games have had quite a lot of humour. Like some of Spectre's plans, like the two heavens. That was hilarious. That he thinks just karate chopping the planet in two will make it pop into two equal pieces. Yeah. Again, Spectre's not really known for his good plans. I mean, the first one, this one was a good idea. You know what I mean? He almost succeeds in it. He done a lot better than he did in the other games, because in this game he actually was able to take control of the city. Alright, not as he intended, but he still took over the city. No, that's probably spoilers. I mean, you can probably assume because you can probably assume that, you know, even without playing or watching this game, you can assume that Spectre's basically taking control of everywhere now, because he's got all these monkeys littered around. You know, he's obviously taking until you start the level, he's basically taking control of that whole world. So he's basically taking control of the present day at this point. I mean, this is all this. I will assume this is probably like a British castle or something. So he's obviously taking over Britain with his monkeys in time, because obviously they've got these glasses that the medieval knights couldn't go against. I mean, maybe it's a French castle because it's got guillotines. But either way, it's probably something to do with them. You know, like obviously the first level was obviously supposed to be the. What he's doing nothing now. Then, like I was saying, like the first level was always supposed to be Japanese in origin. Whilst the second level, I think, it's always supposed to be the Great Wall of China. I know the American name was Wabi Sabi Wall. You know, which obviously gives it off that it's supposed to be Chinese or something else. You know, obviously not really, but it was like the model of after the Great Wall of China when it was still complete. Or by the looks of it, like all the picking that probably still in development, shall we say. That was actually pretty funny, that. All graphical glitch here. I mean, obviously this was obviously like a kind of Europe fish, if you know what I mean. Anyway, take note of how this guy fights, because we may see him again. Maybe not in this form, but take note of how his attack pattern works. That's all I'm going to say, because oh look, there was a light in there. That was kind of them. That was kind of monkeys. So instead of animal power, it's now powered by t-shirts. Yeah, you would call them this. Oh boy, we come to one of the most finicky things in these games. Especially the original version. Because it bounces you can only go in one direction. I do not know what happened there. No, I think I cut out and then cut back in. Again, I'm going to assume I've probably spoiled it already, but like I said before, when you start the game off, it's assumed that Spectre's already won because he's got all these monkeys about. You know, obviously they're going to create havoc and all this, because that's what they do. But again, if you think about it that way, so you're basically undoing what Spectre's done. You know, so history shouldn't be well, history hasn't changed. And that's basically the whole plot of this game. In a nutshell. No, but yeah, but seriously. No. And with that entrance that I could have gone into, that's where you end up. So if you open that, then you can get through there without any problem now. Anyway, this level, even though you don't have a monkey capture goal, it's your best interest to get them all right now, because then it saves you from doing all the work later. This bit, if you notice there, it glitched through it and it started again. That's basically because in the original version you didn't have your air kept going even if you went through there, so it's a lot lenient in this version. I love that. I love that you can glitch out even the PS1 version. I think the game just when the second game to do that as well. Remember, those don't cut you anyway, so it's not. No, all I'm getting is just a few, that's all. Anyway, as I stated before, L and R buttons, that's how you can go up and down faster and all this. There we go, that was skills. Don't ever ask me to do that again because I wouldn't if I can't. Yeah, we stupid Zubats. They do look like Zubats. Obviously Zubats with eyes, but I've never thought about it before, but yeah, I think with this game you can probably assume that Spectre had just basically one. Like I said it before in this part, but yeah, you can basically assume that he's one. That he's one each over each area, and you've obviously just taken it back to how it was right. You know how it was supposed to be. I did like that you could see them actual parts moving, like in the original version where it was just a static image. So that was probably like the bare minimum of what they have by the way. It was probably how they were originally going to have it, you know, like the concept art for it basically. Come back here. How did that miss? Come back here. That hit. There we go. I do love that. It doesn't show you how many monkeys you've caught. It just shows you Spectre's face. Like idiot, you're supposed to catch me, not these stupid things. Even though, like I said, it's in your best interest to capture all the monkeys first, because you know, if you're a speedrunner and you're not going to do 100%, yes, go ahead, don't catch the monkeys. But obviously you will need to catch a few just to unlock this bit, and then you know, so you can get through the level. But that's about it. Press this button, then that gets us here and here. In two places in one portal, in two places away, and that will open up what will be considered the final boss of this level. Let's find things. And again, don't you think it's weird that we went through this whole thing and we've not found Spectre yet? Well, you'll be glad to know that Spectre will be coming soon. Spectre comes to cinema near you. I mean, I'm actually surprised that Sony Computer Entertainment in Japan. I'm surprised they haven't done a complete Spectre game on them by themselves. You know, just like the exact opposite of the big mission on the PSP. Just go around the Spectre, just putting monkey helmets on monkeys. That's the whole game. Just the Spectre putting helmets on monkeys, and that's it. And then leading his army to battle. And some story like this. And the final boss is Kakaru or Hikaru or Sakaru / Sayaka. Just randomly, just as a troll, and even after you beat them, they still are able to catch you. Then Spectre's plans always fail anyway, so at least that's the joke anyway. Look, what am I doing? Go back. Where am I going? I shouldn't be going this way. For God's sake. I didn't go this way, that's why. That's why I didn't. And also there's a spectre coin, for those who want to know. And another Saru. That's the monkey in Japanese. I know that Kuma is there. I know that I don't know what cat is. I can't remember any. I do remember yeah, it's Japanese name, Naya. It's obviously you think cat saying yeah for some reason. I don't know what dog is. No, I know what bunny rabbit is. Bunny, it's Usagi. Bear's Kuma. I only know that because it's downright heady. And then what else do I know? I can't remember anymore. I should know because. Oh well. What's this high-tech thing doing here? Oh look, there's Spectre. Time to confront him and finally get him now.
Hiroki, 作戦は順調に進んでる？はい。町のすべてをほぼ制圧しました。よし。じゃあ現代に戻るぞ。はい。待て！逃がさないぞ！あいにくだな、かける。残念だけど、今はお前の相手をしてる場合じゃないんだ。でも決着は必ずつけてやる。それまで待ってろ。そいつと遊んで勝てたらね。
Anyway, this after that big reveal was this behemoth. Think of it as just being a robot knight. That's about it. Or in Mega Man terms, Knight Fan. Well, not really, but because Knight Man has a mace instead of axe. That Mega Man was so good in Smash 4. he was actually a lot bigger than the original version of this guy. And obviously you can't hurt him when he's like this. He's got a voice. I don't know, was it the same in the original version? The cool thing wasn't it they used the exact same one. In the same guns and that. And that's for this next part. So I get Chippy and I shall see you next time when we probably take on Spectre. And the stealth here, thank God. I was hoping you wouldn't. The spearhead business and so many Sarus.